Great rising, great being, great ending, depending on what part of the day this video reaches you. Very excited to start this new series. But before I get into it, I hope everybody's having a very productive day, a positive day. I hope you're being in control, like you know how, like we've been talking about, like we've been practicing. Um, if you have not seen the Great Rising series, I suggest that you stop and go catch that. It is an 8 video series, but it is very important to kind of get that introductory phase as far as this chasing self and becoming aware of who you are and getting in tune with you. Yeah, I wouldn't want to miss out on that. I touch on a lot of the basics of where I started at, and getting grounded and building from there on top of who I am and what I'm capable of and where I'm trying to go. And yeah, I don't want you to miss out on none of that stuff, because again, a lot of that stuff is the do's and don'ts of self-worth, self-love, just self-awareness, self-control, all self, okay? So again, make sure you catch that series. Again, I want to thank all of my followers. I want to thank everybody who's been just watching my content and just keeping me motivated and showing appreciation of the impact I'm trying to make on this world. It really makes me feel humbled. Yeah, I mean, without you guys, this really isn't. It really has no effect. I'll just be talking to myself, which I have no problem doing, because I'm all about self, and I know the best motivation, encouragement, and inspiration comes from self. But I want to make an impact on the world. I really want to take a lot of the things that I use in life and that I've learned from life and use my story to kind of motivate and encourage people to, kind of take control of their drive and where they're trying to go in their destiny and their course of their purpose in life. So let's get into it. This is the second part of knowing thyself. The first video was basic self. We're going to jump right into the second part, which is conscious self. I'm forgetting something. I'm sorry. Oh, that's what I'm forgetting. Again, if you are like myself or like millions of the other peoples that I see out here who are chasing that entrepreneurial spirit, or they're just trying to create a movement of some kind, if you need any branding, custom apparel, brand promotion, internet presence, anything like that, please make sure you check out Brand Visions LLC. Again, don't just make it a brand, make it a movement. It is a great company. It's doing big things. It's the company I use to start my music, everything. So make sure you look out for them. You can contact them at brandvisionsllc@gmail.com. You can also contact Bernard Tucker at 317-652-4506, I believe. And you can also visit the website at www.thebrandvision.com. Do not miss out on that. Also, I do not want to forget, all parents, you just want to find something new to do with your kids, and you just tired of Chuck E. Cheese. You just really want to, give your child something different to look at. Make sure you try Kitty Canvas. It is a lovely company. It's a friend of mine that I went to school with. I love what she's doing. She's taking a different approach with kids, which is something I feel like is getting left and forgot about, or our kids. All we have for them are electronics, and I'm not a big fan of just throwing electronics in kids' face. So if you are that parent and you're into artistic expression and you just want something different to do, or you have a I believe she even will come to you while you're having an event, and it'll be like childcare for that event. So make sure you check out Kitty Canvas. The information will be in the link, the description below. again, it's something different. I can't really even explain it, but from what I know, it's kids painting and just expressing their artistic self, and it's just a break from all the electronics. So shout out to you, Keisha, for doing a wonderful job with that. Make sure you contact her and give her a try. Give it a chance. You never know until you try something, man. And from the looks of the her internet presence, is doing a wonderful job. So salute to you, Keisha, for stepping up and doing something for the kids and not just our grown ass. I appreciate that. So now, did I get that out the way? Keisha, I'm sorry if I forgot anything. Again, link in the description below. Let's get into this self, okay? First video again was basic self. I want to get into conscious self. Now, when I think of conscious self, I look at our conscious self as how we think, the thoughts that we have, that mentality in the mind that we have. Also, our attitudes, how you carry yourself in the world, whether you're happy or you're sad, or, the type of things that become the attributes into your individuality that kind of mold your basic self. That's the connection. From conscious self to basic self. Your conscious self is again, I look at it as our thoughts and our attitudes, which kind of become the attributes and kind of shape and mold who our basic self is. Again, kind of feeds into our ego and controls the left and right of where we go with our basic self. So again, our thoughts, our attitudes, that type of thing resides in our conscious self. Even the concept of joy and of sadness, or even the choice between the two, that is an example or expression of your conscious self. Conscious self is also our conscious self is also the part of ourself that that is the creativity. What else? The idealisms that we have. Even our memories are our conscious self. Our conscious, when you can tap into, your memories, you use those memories as far as life goes. We kind of use our memories as how can I say this? To go off of. Like to express whether we want to go through this again or not. We use our memory. Wait, last time I did this, what happened? We tap into our conscious self. We get into our memories and we break down like, dang, I remember this happened the last time I did this. Or when you are sad and you want to feel good, so you will get into your conscious self and you will go find a memory that you have that exalted that feeling of joy, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So those are examples of who your conscious self is. Again, your thoughts, your attitudes, your creativity, your idealisms, your memories. I'm very into my conscious self, as you can tell. If you know me, or if you're close to me, or you could just feel my energy, my vibrations through this video, you can tell that I have a great sense of my conscious self, as far as my idealisms, as far as my creativity, being a musician or being an artist. So those are some examples of what conscious self is. Conscious self also, again, like I said earlier, it connects basic self to higher self. It's the bridge. It's the bridge between the left and the right brain. It is what completes self in a whole. Because we have to have that balance. Like I said in the last video, you have to have that balance. Balance is so important. Again, if you haven't seen the Great Rising series, this is one of those things. One of the basics of knowing thyself is knowing how to have a balance within yourself. So you have to have a balance between basic self, conscious self, higher self. The conscious self is that bridge between basic self and higher self, and it connects, and which makes yourself in a whole. So in the last video, when I asked what is self, it's not just you. It's the three aspects of you that create the whole you. when, again, so like I said, our thoughts and our attitudes, that's part of conscious self. That's some of the things that mold the basic self, okay? Now, that being said, when we choose to be negative in our conscious self, right? That conscious self turns to unconscious self. And that's where a lot of us are today in this world. That's where we're failing right now. A lot of us are completely disconnected from our conscious self because we're too into our basic self. We're too into ego. As humanity, we've been manipulated into overexerting in our basic self, and we're shunned away from conscious self and the best of our higher self. That's why it's so good to keep a positive mindset. Again, that positive mindset is what translates all the way around. Again, if it's the bridge, if conscious self is the bridge between basic self and higher self, if you have a disconnect, how are you gonna, you see what I'm saying? How can you connect yourself? How can you be complete? And that's what's wrong with a lot of us. A lot of us are incomplete within ourselves. And because we're so blinded by this, the reality we're in right now, as far as this time, we blame everything else. We blame all the outside things that really, they have an effect, but they really don't have control. Our outside things have an effect on us, but they don't have control over us. We have control over us. So you have to get in tune with your conscious self to fully be completed within yourself. I feel like that would be a turning point in humanity if we would all become one with our conscious self, because facing your conscious self, it kind of faces you to open up about who you are in the basic self. That's why a lot of people don't see no wrong in their mentality, in their thoughts, in their idealism, because they're not, it's not coming from their, I mean, it's coming from your conscious self, but they're not in tune with their conscious self. So their conscious self is just running off the manipulation of the ego, because they don't have that bridge to connect dots. They don't have that bridge connecting basic to higher. They just going from ego stuck. You know what I mean? Or you have the other side of humanity who just think they're so in their higher self that, you know what I mean, it's a disconnect from those who are in their basic self, when we all need to bridge that conscious self, and then that will kind of shape everything, and it complete us as a whole as far as the individual. And once more of us are complete as individuals, we can kind of complete each other in humanity. Okay? Also, your conscious self can turn your spiritual awareness into a physical consciousness, if you will say. And what I mean by that is you become more in tune spiritually with your conscious self, that you start to manifest things through your spirituality as who you are as an individual. That's what I mean by that. So again, let's not run away from our conscious self. Let's admit that a lot of us are too into our basic self, and let's start trying to dig in and figure out who we are as a conscious self. You know, take the time out to spend an hour to yourself or an hour of your day and think about the type of mentality you have up here, the type of creativity you possess, and how you're using that creativity, as far as in a positive way or a negative way. Idealisms, are your ideals are there for positivity, or are there for negativity? Like, you have to face these things, because if you don't, it'll just be a continuation of what the world is going through today. So again, thanks for watching this part. We're gonna hurry up, we're gonna get into the next video, so I'm gonna end this one. As always, one love, never settle, always be you, and always continue to be great.